Steelers Nation, the team is working non-stop to get better week after week, making adjustments and tough decisions in order to deliver results. That's the standard in Pittsburgh, and that's what fans expect. Before we dive into today's big story about a possible trade involving one of our defensive starters and how the offense might be wasting one of its best weapons, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and brings more Steeler fans into the conversation. Let's start with defense. The Steelers walked away from Foxborough with a 21-14 win in Week 3, forcing 5 turnovers against the New England Patriots. That's huge. But if we're being honest, the Patriots dominated in total yardage, and without those turnovers, this game could have slipped away from Mike Tomlin's squad. One player who stood out on defense? Nick Herbig. The young edge rusher was everywhere. He posted 4 quarterback hits, a sack, a forced fumble, and a tackle for loss. And remember, this wasn't just a cameo. He earned those snaps because Alex Highsmith was sidelined with injury, and Herbig absolutely made the most of his opportunity. Herbig has a real nose for the football. 7 forced fumbles in just 32 career games? That's elite playmaking. And when you combine his energy with T.J. Watt on the opposite side, the Steelers suddenly look like they've got a scary 1-2 punch coming off the edge. That's where the trade talk begins. During a recent fan chat, longtime Steelers insider Jerry Dulac admitted something that raised eyebrows. When asked about the possibility of moving Highsmith, Dulac said, possibly because Highsmith has trade value. Now, he made it clear. Herbig and Highsmith are not the same player. Highsmith sets the edge, supports the run, and provides balance that Herbig doesn't fully offer yet. But here's the catch. Highsmith is on a big money contract, with cap hits north of $20 million in each of the next 2 years. If Herbig keeps performing like this, and if the Steelers believe Jack Sawyer and maybe even a 2026 draft pick can round out that rotation, then suddenly Highsmith becomes, let's just say, expendable. Would the Steelers move him this season? Highly unlikely, not with playoff hopes alive and T.J. Watt needing a strong partner on the other side. But when the offseason hits in 2026, that's when Omar Khan will have to look at the books, look at the draft capital Pittsburgh already has, 12 projected picks, and decide if Highsmith's money could be better spent elsewhere. For now, the Steelers hold all the leverage. They don't have to trade Highsmith, but if a desperate, edge rusher needy team calls with a high draft pick, don't be shocked if the Steelers listen. Now let's flip it to offense, because while the defense made splash plays to win in New England, the offense still looked sluggish. Aaron Rodgers threw for just 139 yards with 2 touchdowns and a pick. Not exactly the stat line you want from your Hall of Fame quarterback. And buried in that box score is one name that should frustrate Steelers fans, Pat Freiermuth. The guy is a 6'5", 258-pound athletic tight end, and yet he finished with just 1 catch for 6 yards against the Patriots. That's criminal. Jerry Dulac spoke about this too, and he's right. Freiermuth needs to be involved, especially in the middle of the field. Rodgers did complete a 21-yard pass to Jonnu Smith, but that was one of the only true midfield shots all season. Dulac is basically saying, if Rodgers can hit Jonnu there, why isn't Freiermuth being schemed into those same routes? And let's be real, the weapons are there. DK Metcalf, Jonnu Smith, and Freiermuth could form one of the best trios in football if offensive coordinator Arthur Smith figures it out. Defenses already have to respect Metcalf's size and speed, which should open up lanes for Freiermuth to attack zones and win in man coverage. Yet through 3 weeks, he's been targeted only 7 times total. That's not enough. Not when you've got a quarterback like Rodgers, who's made a career out of exploiting mismatches. The Steelers' offense is sputtering because it's not fully unlocking its talent. And if Pittsburgh wants to make noise in the AFC, that has to change starting this week in Ireland against the Vikings. So here we are. On one side, a young pass rusher making waves and potentially changing the long-term future of the defense. On the other, a Pro Bowl caliber tight end being underused in an offense that desperately needs more consistency. Think about it. If Herbig continues to grow and prove himself, Pittsburgh could be making a franchise-altering decision with Alex Highsmith. And if Freiermuth starts getting real targets, this offense suddenly looks a lot scarier. Rodgers doesn't need to throw for 350 yards every week, but he does need to lean on all of his weapons. This is what makes Steelers football fascinating right now. The team is 2-1, grinding out wins and building momentum. But the questions lurking under the surface are massive. Will Alex Highsmith still be a Steeler in 2026? And will Freiermuth finally be used the way he should be in 2025? Week 3 gave us one of those classic grinded-out Steelers wins. The final score, 21-14 over the New England Patriots. On paper, it looks like a close contest, but let's be real. If you only looked at the yardage stats, you'd think the Patriots dominated this game. They moved the ball better, they controlled time of possession, but here's the difference: 5 turnovers. The Patriots coughed it up 5 times, and the Steelers turned those mistakes into momentum-shifting plays. Drake May, the rookie quarterback, threw an interception and fumbled at a critical moment. Rashandre Stevenson, New England's workhorse running back, lost not 1, but 2 fumbles, including a brutal one right at the goal line. And to top it off, backup running back Antonio Gibson dropped the ball in the second half. Now, some people might look at that and say, well, the Steelers just got lucky. But if you've been following this team for years, you know better. Mike Tomlin and his coaching staff don't rely on luck. They prepare. And that's exactly what happened in this matchup. Tomlin saw the cracks before anyone else. According to Albert Breer of NBC Sports Boston, Tomlin didn't just tell his players to play aggressive football, he literally put together a presentation during the week. That's right, he went into the film room and showed his defense clips of Stevenson fumbling. He showed Gibson fumbling. He even showed Drake May being careless with the football. The message was clear. These guys are going to give you chances. Stay ready, stay aggressive, and when the opportunity comes, take it. Steelers star TJ Watt confirmed this to Breer, saying the defense was reminded over and over throughout the week the Patriots will give you a couple. And when you tell a Steelers defense something like that, especially a defense led by Watt, you know they're gonna hunt. This wasn't just some random highlight reel. It was a targeted attack on the Patriots' biggest flaw. Ball security has been an issue for New England, and Tomlin made sure his players walked into Foxborough with that mindset. And what happened on game day? Exactly what Tomlin predicted.
Stevenson's 2 fumbles, one at the goal line, swung the momentum in Pittsburgh's favor. Those are back-breaking plays that take points off the board. Gibson's fumble added to the collapse, giving the Steelers extra possessions. Drake May's turnovers, a pick and a fumble, showed just how unprepared he was for the relentless pressure of Pittsburgh's pass rush. Nick Herbig, filling in with extra snaps because Alex Highsmith was sidelined, looked like a man on a mission. He was in the backfield constantly, racking up a sack, 4 quarterback hits, and forcing a fumble. And of course, TJ Watt was his usual destructive self, feeding off the chaos and punishing a Patriots offense that couldn't protect the ball. This wasn't an accident. This was a team executing exactly what their coach drilled into them during the week. When Tomlin was asked after the game if Stevenson's fumbling history was part of the game plan, his answer was classic Tomlin. He said, "It was, but it is every week. We identify opportunities." That right there sums up why Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the NFL. He doesn't just prepare his team to face an opponent. He finds the small cracks and hammers away until they break wide open. Every team has weaknesses. The great coaches find them, highlight them, and make them the center of the game plan. For New England, those cracks were massive, and the Steelers smashed them wide open. Steelers Nation, this is where I want to hear from you. If Nick Herbig keeps balling out, would you be okay with the Steelers trading Alex Highsmith in the offseason to free up cap space and add more draft picks? Or do you think Highsmith is too valuable to the defense to let go? And on offense, what's your take on Pat Freiermuth's role? Do you agree with Jerry Dulac that he's being wasted right now? And do you believe Rodgers and Arthur Smith will adjust moving forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading every single one. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive Steelers updates. Trust me, we've got a lot more to cover as this season unfolds. Here we go, Steelers fans. Let's keep the conversation rolling.